Now I can ask you about that first album. Like you said, y'all had demos, but did y'all like push to get a deal first, then y'all created that first one, or y'all already had that ready to go?
We had a demo that was floating around the industry. It got to the likes of a lot of people, and that was a blessing in itself. Uh, and then it ended up in a couple of hands. It ended up at Electric Records. It ended up at Jive and Tommy Boy. But where it got interested in is when we heard that there was a new label starting at Disney called Hollywood Records, and it was a dude named Funkenklein, who was a big hip hop influencer from Jersey, and Funkenklein pretty much was looking for the next level shit. And between himself and this dude named Tyrone White, the demo got over to Disney, and they ended up offering us a deal. And it was hard because Russell Simmons offered us a deal too, and we went with the money. We didn't go with who's better at selling hip hop records. Of course, Russell is. But we went with the big dogs. We went with Disney. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was from a demo. It was from a demo. It wasn't no. We didn't have the first album done yet. It was just the demo of the songs we've done on our own in the studio, which was pretty interesting, man. We had choruses, and God bless him. We had the overseer with us was Paul C, the late Paul C, who did Girls That Got Him Locked, and he pretty much formed and molded Large Professor. He helped put together the Know the Ledge album for Eric B. and Rakim. So he was involved, man. He was probably one of the nicest on the 1200, on the SP 1200. So it's because of him we had this demo that was interesting to a lot of people in the industry. It was very different, and it was really, really funky. So that is what really got us in the door. Once we got the deal, we started fresh with the first Organized album. That's why it sounds very experimental. We was already knowing how to put loops together and put drums over them, but it was like us just learning about the business and being in a professional atmosphere, you know, through that deal with Disney. So.
Okay, that's what's up, man. Now I gotta ask you about the second joint. What was it like going into what they call it, like the sophomore? Did you feel any pressure going into that one?
Nah, no pressure. We had more better understanding. We was finding dope samples, making sure they can be cleared. That was big for us back then. We never had problems with getting sued because we always paid for our samples, and it was more fun. It was more fun. We had more input. We had more knowledge of song structure. That's the album we made Stress, and we really felt a lot of stress because we had friends that was in college that was going through hardships. We had friends that was getting locked up that was going through hardships, and New York was a pretty racist place still at that time. Like, you know, you come out the studio at 2:00 in the morning and you got a pocket full of money, but you know, you couldn't get a cab to take you to Queens. So that's why that skit and Stress is there, because it actually happens. Like, you know, you can get in a cab and show them that you got money, and it's like they don't want to go to the neighborhoods that we're from. Very frustrating too, you know what I mean? Because it's 2-3 in the morning. Nobody wants to take a train. And you're forced to just by the color of your skin. It's kind of I would say it's way more than like disappointing. It's more like, damn, you know, like this is some real racist shit. Like this is some real, you know, confined, constricted type of treatment. And it doesn't matter if you got money. It matters what your skin look like. You can have $1 million in your pocket, and if they just don't like the way you look or the environment that you're going to, even when we was like, yo, we'll pay up front, like it just was hard, you know what I mean? And it was very frustrating that because of what we look like, we got mistreated.
Man,
and of all cities, New York in the 90s, come on, man, that shit should have been beyond that, but it wasn't, unfortunately.
Man, I definitely appreciate you sharing that, because it's like, a lot of times, like that's a classic album, classic records on there, and as fans, we just kind of get the finished product, and we don't realize how much work and how much things that you have to go through, let alone just writing it and creating the artwork. But like you say, not even being able to get a cab to go home or having to worry about a lot of things that really shouldn't be even affecting y'all. As great of an artist as y'all are, the fans don't realize that sometimes. So I'm glad you touched on that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Let me see. We got about 5 more minutes. You cool on the time?
I'm good, man. You got me,
Okay.
man. I told you, we got to get it in. The people got to know, and it's best to hear it from the horse's mouth because that's the thing that's happening now too. Is that they're trying to alternate and change the legacy of hip hop, and I think that only the people that paved the way and that implemented it should be telling the real stories because there's so much rumors to shit that's not true and so much false information. So it's our responsibility to talk to the people and let them know like what it is. That's what we're supposed to do because they need to hear the truth.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I can ask you, like, as a group, have y'all ever thought about reunioning and coming back? Because I think I seen like Black Star, they came back together after probably more than a decade, and then they dropped another classic. Have y'all ever thought about doing that again, or y'all just don't?
Well, we thought about doing it, we actually doing it. But this is the thing, though. The game has become so mechanical and robotic that actually, as funny as that, next week I'm going down to New York just to hang out with Monch, just to rekindle our brotherhood and be around each other. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say what's up to his moms and just all the elements that created the organized confusion legacy in the first place. Like people starting to lose footage on who they are and how blessed we are to just have connections and foundations. So it's like we're working on a new record, but more so we're hanging out with each other as brothers, as peoples, laughing, cracking jokes, eating good food, and not really sharing files over the email. Like we want to be together and try to bring back that fellowship that made dope records back in the days dope. So yeah, next week I'll be seeing him. I'm gonna go down to New York and just poly with him and hanging with him, hear the new stuff that he's working on, take some rhymes with me, and we're gonna let it come together organically, like the way it should do, like because I'm gonna mail you my verse, you mail me back your verse, add something to this, like it's becoming too mechanical and it's almost like we are AI, we becoming artificial intelligence, you know what I'm saying? So we want to kind of be together in the same environment, present with each other, and then start crafting and seeing what we're gonna cook up.